This is a very happy day for our organization. We began to plan this conference more than a year ago, and finally, it is Friday, April 12th, 2013. We always hoped that in the middle of the legislative session, and all the frenzy in Austin, we could gather 400 or so of our best friends in a conference room to talk about one of the most pressing issues in our state. And we succeeded. Thank you for being here. It's especially gratifying to look out on such a wonderful crowd like you. The Texas Lyceum was founded in 1980, more than 33 years ago. We are a nonprofit, nonpartisan group composed of 96 individuals who come from all areas of the state, from Amarillo and McAllen, from El Paso and Tyler, and everywhere in between. We enter the organization before we turn 46 years old, and we fulfill up to 6 years of service in the Lyceum. We have more than 800 alumni. We seek to identify the next generation of top leadership in Texas and educate our directors about our state's most gripping issues. We meet 4 times a year in 4 different Texas cities on 4 different Texas topics. This is our annual signature event, the biggest thing we do all year, and we cannot imagine a more topical issue than our state's transportation needs. We hope today's discussion contributes to the policymaking discussion going on in the legislature in a positive way. Outside of our public conference and our quarterly meetings, the Lyceum seeks to serve Texas in a number of other ways. We conduct an annual, nonpartisan, scientific poll to gather a better understanding of public opinion in Texas. We provide scholarship awards to graduating high school students who already have demonstrated their capacities for leadership. And since 2000, we provided more than $150,000 of those scholarships to students who plan to attend accredited colleges in Texas. And every year, we bestow a Stewardship of Texas Values Award on an individual who embodies the values we celebrate as Texans. Recent recipients include Red McCombs, President George H.W. Bush, Dr. Denton Cooley, and just a few months ago in Arlington, Nolan Ryan. We publish an annual journal that details our findings from conferences like these. We always have been, and remain today, a membership organization driven by volunteers. And if you are interested in joining us or want to learn more about the organization, I encourage you to find any of the 96 of us who are in the room today. We'd be happy to talk with you. Let me also take the opportunity to thank our sponsors, whose logos appear prominently on the back of your conference program. Every one of our 48 sponsors has been unbelievably generous, and we appreciate it. But I particularly want to thank our 3 $25,000 Lone Star Leader sponsors. Centra US is the American arm of the leading private sector transportation infrastructure company by invested capital in the world. It has more than 40 years' experience developing highways across 3 continents. Centra US proudly calls Austin home. It has more than 400 contracts to local Texas firms on its various projects. First Southwest, a Plains capital company, is a diversified investment bank. Its professionals serve governments, authorities, nonprofits, and privately held entities. Founded in 1946, First Southwest calls Dallas home. It has more than 400 employees and ranks in the top 3 nationally in financial advisory work for municipal governments. And last but certainly not least, we want to offer our gratitude to our partners at the Texas A&M Transportation Institute. TTI stepped up in a big way to help us put this conference on today, but they also provide all kinds of support to governments and private sector entities seeking to develop solutions to the problems and challenges facing all of us in transportation in Texas. TTI has more than 600 research projects going on each year and is recognized as one of the finest higher education affiliated transportation research agencies in the nation. Please help me thank all 3 of these Lone Star leaders and all 48 of our sponsors. I am blessed to serve with a number of incredibly gifted directors in the Texas Lyceum. And to begin today's conference, allow me to introduce 2 of them, the co-chairs of the 2013 public conference, my friends Dennis Spate and Mike Gerber.
Thank you, Colin, and good morning, everyone. Let me start by welcoming all of you to these Texas Lyceum Sunrise services. Glad you could be here with us this morning. We'd like to get started, and we appreciate you being here for our 27th Lyceum Public Conference. Last year, while he was sitting on Loop 610 in Houston, trying to hold back on a an incident of road rage, our president, Colin Cox, thought about the issues that he wanted the Lyceum to tackle during his year as president, and transportation infrastructure was right at the top. Colin's charge to us was to develop a first-rate conference that brought together the best minds and leaders in transportation policy. And he told us to think outside the box, not just about roads and bridges, but about planes, trains, and shipping, and about the complex economics and financing associated with transportation policy. And we think we've done just that today. Today's conference is focused not just on the transportation challenges we face today, but that generations to come will face depending upon the hard choices that we make today. It's going to be an exceptional day, and we're proud that all of you could join us. Now, this is the 27th Lyceum Public Conference, and the Lyceum has had some pretty exceptional public conferences over the years, and Dennis and I knew that we had some big footsteps to follow in. But I will tell you that no one here today can fill the big footsteps of our first guest, unless you have a pair of size 16 Triple E feet. Ray Benson, who's the front man for Asleep at the Wheel, has been a friend of the Texas Lyceum for a long time. After 40 years in the business, Ray's won just about every award out there, including 9 Grammys. And when we told Ray that we were pulling together folks to talk about how to keep Texans moving, he wanted to know how he could help. He's been a musician who's done just incredible things for Texas, most recently being involved in water issues here in our state. And of course, Asleep at the Wheel has just set up for that, that genre of music, the official state style of music, I should add. And so we could think of no better way to kick off this conference than to ask our friend Ray Benson to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, a great Texan and a great country legend, our friend Ray Benson.
All right. You wonder how they got me out of bed this early, right? First of all, I would say traditionally we would say we'll sing the state song, and I love Texas, our Texas, but it's an older song. So I have often said that perhaps maybe we could go to the legislature and say perhaps we need another state song, one that perhaps is sung a lot. So I, of course, have a few songs about Texas. So I've said, well, how about we do this song of mine? And so what I would like you to do is help me sing along, because there's no better way to start the day than by singing a song. Now, I know some of you might be vocally challenged, but the great thing about singing in a group, as some of you who sing in church know, that your voice usually gets drowned out. So I'm going to sing a little bit of Miles and Miles of Texas, and I want y'all to help me out. I know all of you don't have my record, so I'm going to teach you the song. The verse goes like this. I saw miles and miles of Texas, all the stars up in the sky. I saw miles and miles of Texas, I'm going to live here till I die. Got it? Well, how about just the first line? Y'all just join in. I was born in Louisiana, down on the old bayou, raised on shrimps, catfish, and Mammy's good gumbo. I got the rambling fever, said bye to Ma and Pa, crossed that old Red River, and this is what I saw. Here we go. I saw miles and miles of Texas. Boy, that was sorry. This part of are you awake? 1, 2, 3. I saw miles and miles of Texas, all the stars up in the sky. I saw miles and miles of Texas, I'm gonna live here till I die. I rode up into Austin, the cradle of the West. Just ask any cowboy, he'll tell you it's the best. I met a Texas beauty, I got friendly with her pa. I looked into her big blue eyes, and this is what I saw. Here you go. I saw miles and miles of Texas, all the stars up in the sky. I saw miles and miles of Texas, I'm gonna live here till I die. I started taming broncos, I made every rodeo. until I met a tough one. His name was Devil Joe. I grabbed hold of his bridle, tried to ride this old outlaw. He threw me from the saddle, boys. This is what I saw. One more time. I saw miles and miles of Texas, all the stars up in the sky. I saw miles and miles of Texas. I'm gonna live here till I die. I want to thank you all so much for doing this. It's so important for all of us Texans to talk about the issues and the things that face us in the coming years. So thank you very much, and we'll sing it one more time, and then I'll go back to bed. I saw miles and miles of Texas, all the stars up in the sky. I saw miles and miles of Texas. I'm gonna live here till I die. Have a wonderful conference. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you for what you do.
Let's hear it for Ray Benson. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. That was what a great way to kick off the morning.